Welcome to our additional recordings on the series of youth issues, youth challenge. If I was 20 or 25, what would I do? How would I behave? It's very difficult for you as a young person, 20, 25, to know some of the issues that the world faces or the youth face. Given what I know today, if I had that knowledge, then I definitely would be a very different person. At two levels. First of all, at the personal level, and let me say, if I was in a position to influence youth issues. So at the personal level, if I was a young person, what would I do? First of all, I would map out my career very, very well. I would say, what do I want to do? I want to study, I want a degree, I want to have a family, I want to have a job, I want to live a good life. I should be able to define that and say, this is what I want to do, and these are milestones in what I want to do. So, but that is not easy, because at that moment in time, before you get there, you're actually not aware that maybe one day life will be difficult. I would want to map out where I want to go. I would want to see where I want to go, and definitely that is something which should be on my kind of plan. Two is something to do with health, which at times you never think about. What you eat, the best meal in the world is chicken and chips. Very tasty, but also very dangerous. As you age, you start wondering, how do I keep up my health? And you now want to eat health food, you want to exercise, you want to eat fruits, fresh vegetables, which are supposed to keep you healthier. Now, if you start them very late in your life, you may never be able to really recover your life well. But if you were aware of the benefits that these do, you would definitely, at that age, decide to have a better health program in terms of maybe exercise. And of course, this is something that many youth do. They love to exercise. Maybe they go to the gym, they participate in sports. A certain number do, but the majority don't. And even in terms of what they eat, I see university students here, they go for a commando, as part of their meal for the day. That's what they can afford, and too much oil in this. Now, with time, this spoils their bodies. They start putting on weight more, or maybe they develop certain things, complications in their body because of the food that they're eating. So if you were 20, 25, and you knew the benefits of a good health, a good exercise program, you would definitely say, yes, I should do this. But of course, as I said, there are those who do it, and they live relatively well off. Personally, I went through some challenges sitting long hours, and I realized that I was developing a back problem. I decided to go and do yoga. To me, it's been a wonderful thing. It has helped me to improve my health. But maybe I should have started a little earlier. At that age, really, you want to sleep, you want to go and enjoy yourself, you want to go and dance. And of course, dancing can be a very good exercise if you know what to do. So that is something that is important in what you're doing. Then you should also decide on the quality of your academic results. Very, very important. My experience is that many young people actually don't know what they get by the time they finish their degree. They may have a first class, they may have a past degree, but they didn't plan it. I think at that age, it's very important for you to try and plan what kind of degree do I want to have. But it's very, very rare that people do it. I know a few of them do, but it's not something that's done frequently by many people. So if you were that age, you should be able to decide, what kind of degree program do I have? Of course, examinations, your fate is decided in 3 hours, in a 3-hour exam, after studying for 10, 12 weeks. That's not fair, but then that is it. So you should be able to decide, I want to have a first-class degree, I want to have an upper-second degree. Or you may want to discover who you are. You may have certain weaknesses. For instance, you may have weaknesses in quantitative subjects, or the written subjects like, political science and law, where people write a lot. You may be weak in that area. You should be able to say, let me work on those areas where I'm weak so that I can have a good performance in overall terms. I remember seeing one of my first-class students, very good student, many years back. He was very good at quantitative things, but never gave a thought to these written subjects. And they pulled him down to have a not so good degree because he didn't think about it. The other thing is about relationships. I have said to students that please do not marry your classmates. For girls, look for boys who are 5 years plus. 10 years is good. It's not easy to get that, but 10 years is good. For you as a boy, look at somebody who is much younger than you. Why? Because women tend to mature much more quickly than men. And therefore, the age difference is important. So if I was that age, and I knew what it means, if I was a girl, I would be looking at somebody who is 30 plus. If I was a boy, I would be saying, well, it's possible that my wife has never been born, or my wife is a teenager at the time you are 25 years old. So these are things to think about, that, but nobody gives it a thought. You go, fall in love with a classmate, maybe get out, get married, it happens. And then you get into problems along the way, which emerge as a result of marrying people with similar age. There's nothing wrong with it if love can be it. Nothing wrong with it. But it's advisable that you try and have a difference in age between you as a boy and a girl, you as a girl and your boyfriend. So this is something also to think about in terms of my family. What will I do in my family? And the other point which is also important is, who are my friends? Who am I choosing as my friends? This social network that you build up in the university, at that stage, I'm talking about university because that's where I am, but it's also possible in other areas, in TVET institutions, which are not necessarily universities, but they are institutions of higher learning, that you must select your friends well. And in selecting friends, these are lifetime friends, people you're going to deal with for many years. I've had President Museveni was studying with Honorable Gabriel Pio, the former Speaker of Parliament, Wakapa Bulo, and others. And, they maintain that relationship. So you must be able to select friends who will be able to support you, to help you in your years ahead. I recall my great uncle, Chiwejinja, he had a friend who was an architect. So he would disturb this fellow so much. I said, "Man, you pay him?" He said, "No, the money doesn't come from there. We work together. I bring him the clients who pay the money. He brings him the clients, so I do work free for him." That is such a network you must build. So you should be able to select your friends so well in such a way that these are people who are going to help you many years ahead, help you, help your family, help you to solve the problem that you find in society, help you to find resources that you need in society. This is very important. So as a young person, me as an individual, these are things which I would think about if I was 2025. I'll be doing the subsequent one if I was the government. What would I do for the young people?